Okay, Mike, we'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, bye.
Face of YouTube's golden age.
Bro, it's crazy just like seeing these photos of just like, damn, I'm so good looking. It's crazy. And that's just me being humble, you know.
A creator turned millionaire before 25. The man who built Logan, sold out arenas, and turned daily vlogs into a global economy of attention. From Vine sketches to boxing rings. From viral chaos to Forbes' highest paid list, Logan Paul wasn't just an influencer. He was the algorithm made human. A content machine with no off switch, whose energy, ego, and endless reinvention defined an entire generation of creators. At his peak, he wasn't following the culture, he was the culture. Merch sold like religion. Cameras never stopped. Every stunt, every laugh, every click became part of the myth. For a while, it seemed unstoppable, a perfect feedback loop of fame, money, and validation. But online perfection has a cost. And when the same lens that built his empire turned toward the darkness, the empire cracked. How does a man who films everything survive when the world turns its camera on him? And in an age where controversy is currency, can someone like Logan Paul ever truly fall? Before he became a household name, Logan Paul was just another kid from Ohio with a camera, an internet connection, and an unlimited supply of confidence. Back in the early 2010s, social media was still the Wild West, and Vine, with its 6-second videos, was the fastest way to go viral. Logan figured it out early. He wasn't trying to be perfect, he was trying to be loud, unpredictable, and unforgettable. His videos flips, pranks, quick jokes, bursts of chaos fit the rhythm of a generation raised on dopamine hits. By 2014, he had millions of followers and a spot among Vine's biggest names. He and a crew of other Vine stars lived together in Los Angeles, creating a self-contained content factory that fed off collaboration and competition. They weren't waiting for Hollywood's approval, they were building their own. When Vine collapsed in 2017, most of its creators vanished overnight. But Logan didn't panic, he evolved. He moved to YouTube and started posting daily vlogs, turning his camera into both a diary and a marketing engine. The vlogs were loud, fast-cut, and drenched in confidence, the kind of content that felt like hanging out with your most reckless friend. The formula worked. Within months, he was gaining tens of thousands of subscribers a day. His audience, mostly teens, saw him as a kind of superhero for the internet age, fearless, funny, and unapologetically himself. He called them the Low Gang, and for many, it felt like a real community. But behind the merch drops and viral stunts was something bigger, a new blueprint for digital fame. Logan Paul wasn't just chasing views, he was proving that in the attention economy, authenticity and chaos could be monetized. And for a while, it made him unstoppable. By 2017, Logan Paul wasn't just a YouTuber, he was the internet's main character. Every day, millions of people tuned in not just to watch him, but to live vicariously through him. The mansion in Los Angeles became his playground, his life, a non-stop highlight reel. Each vlog was a sugar rush of jump cuts, pranks, and chaos, the kind of video that made you click next before you even finished the last one. He was living the dream every teenager thought they wanted: fast cars, private jets, and an audience that worshipped him. His brand, Maverick, wasn't just merch, it was a movement. Hoodies, t-shirts, backpacks all stamped with the bright bird logo that screamed rebellion and self-belief. To his fans, wearing Maverick meant more than buying clothes. It meant belonging. And the numbers backed it all up. 50,000 new subscribers every single day. Videos racking up millions of views within hours. A reported $12.5 million in earnings for 2017 alone. Forbes listed him among the highest paid YouTubers on the planet. He was a marketing dream, loud, confident, endlessly viral. But the real genius of Logan Paul was how he turned himself into a brand. He wasn't selling content, he was selling access. Every smile, every stunt, every yo, what's up? Logan felt like an invitation to be part of something bigger. He understood what few creators did back then, that the connection between influencer and fan wasn't transactional. It was emotional. In that world, he wasn't just famous, he was untouchable. The boy from Ohio had hacked fame itself. And for a while, it seemed like nothing, not critics, not burnout, not even gravity could bring him down. For most creators, one career-ending scandal would be enough. For Logan Paul, it became part of the cycle. The first crack came in late 2017, the Aokigahara video. A moment so tone-deaf it nearly erased everything he'd built. The backlash was brutal, and it forced him to grow up fast, at least on camera. He pivoted, he boxed, he launched a podcast. He became a brand again, older, smarter, supposedly reformed. By 2021, the internet had all but forgiven him. And then came CryptoZoo. It started like every Logan Paul project, big, flashy, and hyped to the moon. CryptoZoo, he called it, a fun game that lets you earn money while you play. The pitch was simple: buy NFT eggs, hatch exotic animals, and earn crypto rewards. In an era where digital collectibles were exploding, the idea sounded perfect, a mix of Pokemon nostalgia and get-rich-quick tech. Investors lined up, millions of dollars poured in. But there was one small problem: the game never worked. Behind the scenes, the project was a mess: bad code, shady partners, no accountability. Players who had spent thousands realized their NFTs were useless images of cartoon animals. sitting in broken wallets. By late 2021, the Discord servers were filled with angry messages from fans begging for answers. Logan, meanwhile, quietly moved on to boxing matches, podcast episodes, and energy drink launches. Then, in December 2022, YouTuber CoffeeZilla dropped a 3-part investigation. He exposed CryptoZoo as a non-functional project built on lies, tracing millions in lost investor funds and revealing that some of Logan's collaborators were known scammers. Screenshots, audio calls, blockchain trails. It was damning and detailed. Logan's first reaction, denial, and defense, he called CoffeeZilla a liar, threatened a lawsuit, and tried to spin the narrative. But the internet wasn't buying it. The same audience that had once idolized him was now dissecting every inconsistency, every contradiction, within days. Logan took the videos down, admitted mistakes were made, and promised refunds a $2.3 million buyback program. Except there was a catch to claim the refund. Victims had to waive their right to sue him. The offer, as one lawyer put it, was damage control dressed as generosity. CryptoZoo wasn't just another PR mess, it cut deeper, this time. The victims weren't faceless critics or casual fans, they were his own supporters. The very community that had built his empire. It was betrayal disguised as innovation, and it shattered the fragile trust he'd spent years rebuilding. For many, it confirmed what the Aokigahara scandal had only hinted at. Logan Paul's greatest product was, and always had been, himself. And when your entire business runs on belief, losing credibility is the real bankruptcy. If Logan Paul's career has proved anything, it's that he never really comes back, he reinvents. Where others see scandal, he sees a pivot. Where most would disappear, he doubles down. After the CryptoZoo collapse, the internet expected silence. Instead, Logan turned the page again. His podcast Impulsive became the engine of his rebrand. A space where he could sound reflective without ever losing control. Sitting across from athletes, celebrities, and even politicians. He started speaking in full sentences instead of sound bites. It wasn't the chaotic kid with a camera anymore. It was a man trying to outgrow his own reputation, and for the first time, people were willing to listen. Then came Prime Hydration. In 2022, he and former rival KSI launched the sports drink that would turn their feud into a fortune. Within months, shelves were empty, resale prices were skyrocketing, and the company was doing 9 figures in revenue. Prime wasn't just a product, it was proof that Logan could turn internet clout into tangible success. By 2023, Prime reported over $1.2 billion in annual sales. And Logan was no longer just a YouTuber. He was a businessman, a co-founder, and at least on paper, a redemption story. But the biggest transformation happened not behind a mic or in a boardroom, it happened in a ring. In 2022, Logan Paul signed with WWE. At first, fans rolled their eyes, another influencer chasing relevance. But then he wrestled and stunned everyone. His athleticism, timing, and showmanship felt natural, almost uncanny. When he faced Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel 2022, he didn't just hold his own, he delivered one of the most talked about matches of the year. Even critics who despised him admitted, "I hate how good he is." He shared the stage with John Cena in high-profile appearances and feuds, blending digital celebrity with wrestling mythology. By November 2023, Logan had done what few thought possible. He won the United States Championship, cementing himself as an actual WWE superstar, not a guest, not a gimmick. The crowd still booed. But the boos were money. In wrestling, that's success. Over the next 2 years, Logan kept proving it wasn't a fluke. He crossed paths with John Cena, blending YouTube bravado with wrestling legend. At Money in the Bank 2025 then, at SummerSlam 2025, he took it further, a brutal sequence ending with a clean body slam on Jerry Rolls, replayed across every WWE feed within hours. Every chapter of Logan's story seems to follow the same rhythm: outrage, exile, reinvention, and each time, he manages to turn the chaos into currency, transforming the very scandals that should have destroyed him into the narrative fuel that keeps him relevant. Maybe that's his real art form, not content creation. Not boxing, not wrestling, but reinvention itself. In the end, Logan Paul didn't just survive the internet, he learned to weaponize it. Every scandal became a trailer, every apology, a rebrand, every fall, another kind of marketing. He turned public outrage into content, content into currency, and currency back into credibility. Some call it resilience, others might call it something else. It's hard to say where accountability ends and strategy begins, or if he ever saw a difference. The same instincts that made him a star on Vine now make him unstoppable in WWE timing, confidence, and an almost surgical sense for what the audience will click next. He's no longer the reckless kid with a camera. He's something far more efficient. A professional survivor in a culture that rewards reinvention over reflection. And maybe that's what fame looks like now, not greatness, not growth, just endurance. Because in the modern internet, if you can keep uploading, you can keep existing. And Logan Paul, he's made a career out of never logging off.